Hey everyone, welcome to another weekly vlog. It's been a while since the last time I did one of these, but today I want to talk about my new computer. So why did I get a new computer? Well, really it's because the computer that I have been using, I built way back in January of 2009. So, I really needed something better. And even though I kind of upgraded my old PC here and there, uh, it was time. It was really time to get a new computer. So of course, I had two options. I could either buy like one at a store like HP or Dell, a brand name like that, or I could build mine. And since I had originally done that with my first computer, I kind of wanted to do it again. So even though I did kind of bounce back and forth on what to do, because there's a certain amount of convenience in just going to buy a new computer from a store and taking it home and it works. But with building, there are some definite advantages. I mean, most of the time it's going to be cheaper if you actually just buy all the parts and build it yourself. And also, you have a lot more freedom to put what you want in your computer. So so I did decide to build it. So I'm going to go through the parts here. Um, Now I don't have the boxes for everything. I threw some of the stuff away, but I've kind of got the core, the boxes for the core parts. So for the actual case, I went with a Rosewill Challenger, and this is a pretty nice case. When I originally built my first PC, the case I went with. God, I can't even remember the name of it, but the only reason I chose it, this is going to sound so stupid, was because it kind of looked like a Borg cube from Star Trek The Next Generation. It was black and kind of had some chrome bits on it as well, plus just green LED lights on the front and the sides. So it looked really cool. Uh, Unfortunately, it didn't have the best functionality. I really don't like the cases actually have the door on the side. Uh, Especially with mine, I wound up hitting that, I wound up leaving it opened all the time and kept hitting it with my knee every time I would get up, and it eventually broke off. Uh, so yeah, definitely not the best case. It was still a pretty decent case. Uh, but this time I really considered functionality first and foremost. And I got this case pretty good price. I think it was 50, 60 bucks. It is a pretty decent price. And it's it it's it's pretty nice. It's got a really nice amount of airflow to it. Uh, it doesn't have, let's see, it has a pretty big fan on the front, and I think on the top and on the back, and it has places where you can put it on the side. But it's got a nice blue LED on the front. But it's a pretty nice case. And so for the processor, I wanted to go with an i7. I definitely knew I wanted to get a quad core, but the i7s were just too expensive, so I went ahead and went with an i5, and I got the Intel Core i5 dash 4590. I believe this runs at 3.5 gigahertz. It's uh it's done really well so far. As for the power supply, I got a Rosewill Arc 650 watt power supply, and what's actually unique about the case is, at least this is the first case that I've gotten that has had the power supply on the bottom. And there are actually two ways you can put it. You can put it with the case, I mean the fan on the bottom, and they actually have a screen shield on the bottom that you can take out, and because it's going to collect dust, you can take that out and vacuum all the dust off of it. And so you can either put it that way, or you can put it with the fan facing up. I've got it facing down, and because of that The case actually has a pretty substantial feet on it, probably about an inch, and that gives a decent amount of airflow so that that air can go somewhere. But this is a pretty nice power supply. Got a lot of different connections on it, so it's worked well so far. As far as the motherboard, my previous build I used an Asus motherboard, and I really like that, so I kind of wanted to go with Asus again, but I went with a Gigabyte instead. I got the Gigabyte Z97 HD3. This is Z97 chipset, LGA 1150 socket. And this was probably a bit overkill, but it does have USB 3.0 on it, 4 USB 3.0 connections, and 2.0. Didn't really need the HDMI or DVI-D on it, but still nice to have anyway. So pretty nice. And I also, let's see, I have G.Skill RAM in it. I have two 4 gig sticks in it, so 8 gigs of RAM. Definitely gonna upgrade those at some point in the future, but 8 gigs is pretty good for now. And as far as the video card goes, I was originally going to get just the GTX 960, just the standard version of that. But then I saw they had this version of the 960 for, I think, like $20, $30 more. And it was on sale. So I went ahead and picked up the GTX 960 from EVGA. And this is actually the 4 gigabyte model. And this is actually the superclocked edition, and this actually has a smaller size. And I was kind of worried about that with because I mean those cards are pretty big if it was going to fit in my case or not. But so that's kind of the reason that I went with this one, and it works great, man. You know, I've tried it out with games like Assassin's Creed Unity and Shadow of Mordor, and just by default it has everything on high settings and it runs great. I've had like no frame rate issues or anything like that, so really nice for gaming. Definitely going to help me out with video editing as well. So yeah, that's my my new computer. You know, I spent probably about an hour uh, putting everything together the night that I got all the parts, just making sure everything was in the right spot. And when I went to turn it on, nothing happened, and that really freaked me out. But you know, I kept messing around with it, and I think either I didn't have the power connectors in all the way, or it might have been another issue, but it was it definitely scared the crap out of me. But thankfully everything's working great now with it, so I just need to hopefully at some point in the future get a video camera, and I'll be able to definitely increase the video quality on my channel. Well, that is it for my latest weekly vlog. Just really wanted to share my new computer with you guys. As always, like the video, comment below, and subscribe. Till next time.